Presidential Election Tribunal continue later this week. Two parties have withdrawn their petitions challenging Bola Tinubu's win in February. The primary opponents and runners-up at the election, the People's Democratic Party and the Labour Party, continue to contest Tinubu's victory. And there's a crisis in the Labour Party, with the acting national chairman Lamidi Apapa withdrawing the party's petition at the Rivers State Governorship Election Tribunal. There's also apprehension after he asked lawyers at the Presidential Tribunal to brief him on developments there. Now joining us is Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Afam Osigwe. Good to see you and thanks for your time.
Thanks for inviting me.
And, I listened to Yakubu Mekiao there. Let's start from there because he's talking about something that is bogging down the judiciary. And he didn't name that. Perhaps maybe we can start first by looking at what the judiciary can do for us. We have a plethora of issues, and Nigeria is moving into a dispensation where all eyes are on the judiciary at the moment.
Well, we always say that the judiciary is the last hope of the common man. And the Constitution has vested with the judiciary with the adjudicative power to determine disputes between persons and states versus state, and the state versus the federal government. So it behooves the judiciary to resolve issues. And in doing this, there are a lot of expectations that the judiciary will do things the right way, that they will render judgments that will finally put these matters to rest, that will do justice to the matters presented for determination. So, and in this context, the judiciary becomes, all eyes will be on the judiciary. And so, if they determine matters in such a way that leave people walking away feeling that justice has not been done, then the perception is either the judiciary has been compromised, or the right persons are not on the bench, or for some political reasons, pressure has been brought on the judiciary to decide wrongly. So a lot depends on how the judiciary determines cases, and if the confidence in the judiciary is eroded, ability of the institutions of state, or people to approach the institutions of state, like the judiciary, to resolve their matters will be eroded, and judgments coming out of these courts will not have much regards by people. Even foreign countries may treat such judgments with scant regard.
Which has a lasting implication if not handled well, because the truth is right now some would say the judiciary itself is currently on trial. We do have about 700 petitions out there, from the presidential to all levels of elections. But you know what? Speaking of petitions, we cannot delve too much into the Labour Party issue, but the fact that, just on Friday, the acting chairman, speaking about Lamidi Apapa, had actually said, you know what, all the lawyers handling the case for the party should reach out to him, even gave a timeline. And after that, we've even seen lawyers handling some cases, especially at the state level. I know that the River State candidate for the Labour Party had raised the alarm that her lawyers were called to step aside. All of this, let's talk about how this, will affect the party at the tribunal, using Labour Party as a case study now for all the political parties that also have their own issues going on.
You see, there's a very thin line between delving into a matter before a court and a political question. So I will not be able to comment on this. But just to say that if you did not brief a person, you cannot instruct the person to report to you or to withdraw from a matter. And since this matter is sub judice, I would not want to comment on it. But just to say that the Labour Party dispute once again brings the judiciary under the limelight. Why do I say this? An order of the Federal High Court or the court suspended or restrained Mr. Abori from acting as the chairman of the party, and recognized the gentleman you called Lamidi Apapa, I think, as the acting national chairman. And a matter that is pending before the court, which is yet to be determined, is also assuming some political dimensions, which has some bearings on the pendency of the matter. So there are people who may look at some of these cases as, these cases have some political connotation with the intention of having an effect on the pending petition before the court, which is why in determining such cases, the judiciary must take such decisions and act quickly so as to resolve the dispute one way or the other, to determine who is in charge of the matter, instead of delving into granting injunction. I'm trying not to discuss this matter, mind you. Now, to abridge time and hear the substance of the matter. Now, Now, so much time has been spent on injunction, on jurisdiction, and as to who should be the leader of the party. So if the court had determined the substance of the matter, determined who is the leader of the party, so that whoever was not satisfied with it would appeal. So it's another litmus test for the judiciary. To what extent do people put judiciary in a difficult position as to be seen to be walking the line between adjudicating a dispute between parties and becoming a willing tool in hands of politicians in using orders obtained from court to achieve political objectives?
But again, I think now it comes to a fair understanding, because we cannot say the bar and the bench isn't aware of some of these tricks, being employed by Nigerians and some politicians.
So it's not about being aware, it's about how facts are presented before you, how people rely on previous decisions and laws in persuading a judge that their viewpoint is a better viewpoint. And that is why they are appellate courts. So these matters will now be taken to higher courts to test whether the decision of the trial court was right or wrong. If a judge had the ability of knowing the certainty of what everything should be, there wouldn't be appellate levels, Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court. Right. But my point is, in cases of this nature, there should be some step towards abridging time, ensuring that these matters are determined on the merit within the shortest possible time.
The situation with
that's all I'm saying. Without commenting on the merit of the case, which I do not pretend
to. Of course. This conversation is not about the case.
Or even if I do, I can't discuss the merit of the case.
Absolutely. It's an ongoing trial, so of course we cannot go into that. But of course, we do know that Abure is back in court on the 19th of this month. But there's a lot of argument in regards to who is actually the substantive chairman of the Labour Party, because in April, Abure and some other executives of the party had been suspended. So all of these actions of the Apapa faction, which is why we're having
my point. The moment we keep going through the facts of the case,
it's not about the case.
We are tempted to cause that thin line into discussing the point. But my point is about how the judex handling the matter should act to avoid this kind of controversy. How others should not leave anybody in doubt as to who is in charge.
Okay, so that takes me
if
to
a person has said you're no longer, the court should examine the matter in such a way that matter is resolved once and for all, so that there will be certainty as to who is in charge. And injunction, let me not say it. Let me leave it at that.
So that actually removes speculation. I totally agree with you, and Nigerians would agree that the faster you get rid of some of these issues, so we can focus on the main issue. But at the end of the day, we need to look at some of these actions that we've seen and how it affects the candidate, not necessarily the case in court, but the candidates themselves. As a senior advocate of Nigeria, you're not new to situations like this. That's why this question is posed to you.
So there's one beautiful thing about election petition matters. While the candidates and their political parties may jointly go to court, they must not remain parties for there to be a valid petition. So if a political party withdraws, the candidate alone can sustain the petition. Yeah. So we don't need to split hair over it. So if a recognized leadership of a party says, oh, you know what, we are withdrawing, we are no longer supporting, and the candidate says, okay, thank you so very much, but I'm continuing, there will still be a valid petition. So it may only create some storm in a teacup, but it does not. That's why I said, so if a person says, look, you didn't brief me, the candidate did, and even though we're instructed to represent both of you, if you no longer want us, you can get your own lawyer. Exactly. But I remain for the candidate, and it's a bit tricky when you're representing two parties. So, but if your instruction actually came from the candidate and is the one paying your bill, your fees, you may say, well, I will not report to you, but if you no longer have confidence in us, you can get your own lawyer to work for you. I'm not going to work for you. But I think we should focus on resolving these issues in a manner that leaves people satisfied that whichever way these matters are determined, to go away believing that judiciary has discharged itself creditably very well, and not made in controversy as playing one role that people may see as geared towards undermining actions pending in other places.
And that's the area I'm really concerned about. I'm quite excited that you're not trying to go into what would amount to subjudice, of course, because you used the key word that you spoke about feelings. The impression about getting justice, of having faith and hope in the judiciary is very key here. And perhaps there are things that Nigerians should start saying that will bring back those, positive feelings. Because ideally, sometimes people say, let's go to court. And every time you tell that to a Nigerian today, he knows the man uttering let's meet in court is already telling you that, look, you can't get justice. So let's talk about feelings. Listen to Yakub Mekel and some other lawyers like yourself. It shows one thing, concern of lawyers.